Common stress reactions seen in health professionals, not just health professionals, but educators, teachers, probation officers, case managers, people in the foster care system, etc. People who have access to children, right? So, any of these look familiar to you? Yeah? Care to share?
Yeah, one the neglect of duties outside of work, difficulty concentrating. I live here, most of my neighbors are veterans right here in the medical center area. And I was trying to keep it a secret from them after my SWAT thing. I ended up moving to that apartment building, right? But one of my neighbors found out that I was a social worker. And I guess the word got around, like, hey, we got this social worker guy there.
Free therapy for B.
But now that I've been there 10 months, and that's how I hide from them, because when they come over and they try to talk to me outside my apartment, because I'm always hanging out there, I just blow them off. I'm like, hey, I don't really work, and I'm a student, and I'm thinking about my homework, and they're looking at me like, man, you're not a very good social worker. You don't even want to talk to us. So it's kind of like I do it on purpose, but I do notice that I truly don't want to hear, because, I'm like, hey, I'm not this person's therapist, and then I'm thinking, just like he was saying, sometimes you think when you hear someone's issues, you're like, well, that sounds bad, but you want to tell them, like, did I tell you about my SWAT story? So I don't really feel that yours is all right. And but people that don't know your like what your mind is on, or all that, you do come across like what's that word? Aloof. Like you'll be hearing things, and sometimes, especially me, since I like wearing my little glasses here, I'll just space out, and they're like, hey, Victor. And I was like, oh yeah, I was thinking about school.
Right.
So I'm always writing papers, and but I think. Lucky for me, they're understanding. They're veterans and they're just my neighbors. But I think if it mattered, that would mess up a lot of my relationships with friends, because I know I come across that way when I'm not paying attention. I really.
You pointed out a couple of things there. So boundary setting and also dual relationships, right? So are we friends? We're neighbors? Or am I your counselor? Can't be both. Can't be both.
I usually respond when someone asks me a question, because they know what I do for a living. Do you want me to respond as your friend, as a woman, or as a therapist?
There you go, straight up front.
And then they just, okay, well, never mind. And then, and they stop, because my other thing that I said for setting a boundary for my they always know when I'm in a mood, because I said I'm a loving, caring individual who likes people. And they're like, no, you don't. You go, exactly, so get out of my office. So when they know what I'm saying, that phrase, today is not good, don't try tomorrow, maybe, the day afterwards, perhaps.
But you've indoctrinated them,
Yes,
right? You've set that limit, you've set that boundary, you've taught them where you are.
The most difficult thing for us is setting that limit and that boundary, because we are those caring individuals who often people gravitate towards no matter what.
And it doesn't matter whether you're at the grocery store, the gym, or wherever. They know. They can smell, healthcare professionals. I'm telling you, right?
Yes.
So I saw a hand over here.
I was just going to say, one of the things with first responders or health professionals to really stay healthy, because they need to start picking up behaviors as like drinking or using other things to kind of cope, self-medicating.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. See that a lot. You see that a lot. Like all of a sudden, every other day is happy hour. That's a red flag. In the back, please.
Yeah, I heard that when I go out on weekends and stuff, and I tell people where I live, they ask if they went to school, and that's it. I went for a mammogram once, and the lady was asking what I did, and she's been the entire time telling me about her husband and Jesus. And it's
Yeah, it's like, them out. Yeah.
so I just don't.
And it's okay. It's okay to do that, because you're not at work. It's your time. You enjoy it.
It was great dating wise, because if I really wanted to get rid of a guy, I just told him what I did, and they laughed.
I keep talking. I'm diagnosing you right now.
Really? That's what you did? Okay, well, wasn't that? Okay, bye-bye. See you later. If I liked them, then I wouldn't tell them what I did.
Anyone else? With me, it's my mood. My mood gets very, I'm very like, happy-go-lucky, I laugh a lot, I joke a lot, but people at work and at home, they know too when my cup is full, is that I just don't have the capacity to even engage, I just isolate and detach. That's kind of like my way of, spilling
It's
out.
like I'll jump off the handle and I'll take things personal. It's like, whoa, where did that come from? I don't even recognize myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know I need to be careful there.
Right. And people are like, that was such a small deal, but it probably built up for you, and then one thing set it off, and boom, lucky for them. And the most concerning thing is depression and suicidal ideation, right? Stress reactions. Healthcare professionals, we are we set very high standards for ourselves. We are here to heal people. We are part of the recovery to wellness, right? And healing. And if they relapse, if they go back to the hospital, right? If they go back to the unhealthy behaviors that we're helping them get out of, we take it personal, right? We don't want to. We do. It's like, oh, I should have done something different. Yes, ma'am.
So, on the depression, one of my colleagues in my cohort, we suspect that she fell out of the program, and we suspect that there might be something going on. But we're all hesitant to bring it up to her. And what would y'all tactfully say as a professional talking to another professional? Like, I think you need this. If there's things that are coming up that we think, you need to go see a professional without coming off like, I know better than you.
Listen to me, because I know better.
So how to approach that tactfully with a peer?
Right. No, it depends. It depends on the rapport that you have with your peer, what kind of relationship you have. But in my experience, being straightforward works out. I've noticed this lately, and it doesn't seem like you. Do you want to talk about it? And give them that opening to share. Give them that platform to talk to you about it. And let them share what they want to share. And take it from there. Anyone in the room got advice?
I can hear the question, sorry.
Go ahead. Can you speak up a little bit?
That I have a colleague in my cohort who she dropped out of the program, and we suspect that there may be some depression or some other things going on. But we're hesitant about approaching her on it, and I'm just wondering what would y'all tactfully say to maybe guide her towards if she does need to go to therapy or see somebody. What would you say?
How are you doing?
Want to talk about it?
Yeah, how are you doing? Just checking in, how are you today? How are you feeling? Have you considered talking to someone who can help you? What would you like to do next?
That is so therapeutic. I'd just say, you need help, sister.
Like, come here. Hold my hand.
The fact that you haven't seen her is a great opening. I haven't seen you. Where have you been? I'm concerned.
If you come from a standpoint of compassion and caring, and however you approach that, like I said, you look at your rapport, you look at your relationship, and be straightforward, right?
And also open-ended questions. You don't want to say, are you okay? More than likely someone will respond, yes. How are you doing? How can I be helpful? I do not have the experience to help with that. Let me go with you to go find someone who can help. I said the reason I ask those questions is we work with children. You cannot ask children the questions you ask adults.
Right.
So you have to dig deeper and really be careful about how you ask things to get the better answers. That should be a thing for adults too. Learn to ask better questions.
I think when you see that your coworkers and your peers are doing something out of the ordinary, like if they don't normally come sit with you at lunch, that's an indication that they might be going through something, and for you to say, hey, I noticed that today you did this here. Well, what is it that you really need? Let's actually talk about it, because they're indirectly sending a request for help to you when they're doing things out of the ordinary that they wouldn't do. It's an indication to say, hey, I noticed that you didn't bring your lunch today. Let's go to lunch together and let's talk about it.
And it shows your cohort too that you're paying attention, that someone's paying attention, and that speaks volume, right? Because sometimes when you're depressed, when you're anxious, and you're in your dark cloud, you don't feel like people care about you. But if somebody asks and follow up and like, hey, I noticed a slight change, what's going on? I want to talk about it.
And school is so stressful. Grad school was terrible because it's school, work, internship, paper. That takes a lot out of a person. It really does. So it's good that you've identified, okay, if this person got out, there's something going on. Let's share in that, and how we deal with our own stress.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna just kind of breeze through this a little bit, but I love this part because when we talk about self-care, I get some really creative ideas from the audience that I incorporate in my own self-care. So I'll start with containment. Does anyone know what containment means? Anyone does this? Anyone does this? You do it? How do you do it, ma'am?
Well, I leave my work at home. So I have meetings throughout the day and they're spaced out, and sometimes they're with different people at different times. But as soon as the meeting is over, I get into the car, I just breathe a little bit, and then I put on music and I just start singing like crazy, and I get home and I'm like, all right, let's do something else, and I kind of leave it, where it was at, and pick it up the following day.
Very good. It's all about containing work at work, right? And then, transitioning to back to home. Anyone else before I share mine?
My son is awful. When I'm with my son, work is done. I do not, because I work in home. I'm a supervisor, so I get calls at different times. But when I'm with my son, that's what I set for my role for myself. My son is the containment. When I'm with him, nothing else.
Oh, I love that. That's cool.
So people know that if I'm not answering my phone, I'm with my son.
What I do is I'm very ritualistic. I take off my badge, right? I clean off my desk. I shut off my computer. And then on my way home, I have my going home song, play music on my playlist. So that's how I'm done with work. And I leave my laptop, even though I bring my laptop and my work cell phone home, I leave it in my backpack. And I always tell my managers, just if it's very urgent, call my personal cell. Anyone else? Containment.
I'm a traveling counselor, so we work at schools, but we have supplies. We don't have an office, so my car is my office. I have boxes in my trunk. I'll organize. They stay there. They don't even come in my home. They're in my car.
Contain it. Contain it. Work's done. And you can do different things about it too. Like on my way to work, I have a playlist, and on my way home, I have a playlist. All right. Limits and boundaries. We already talked about this. Right? No. Let's all say no. Just no. No. Not no, but, no, but later. My kid's like, no, thank you. But no. No is good. Say no. We don't say no often enough. All right. And sometimes we have to say no before we can say yes. Very true. Very true. Limits and boundaries. The thing is, if you say when you're working with a client and you accommodate one client, then you have to do the rest for everyone else, because that's just fair, right? So then you've just overextended again, much more, exponentially. Can't afford that. It's not sustainable. Pleasure. Savings account that we have to draw on daily. Not necessarily like an actual savings account, but it could be if you are into retail therapy, that's your thing. It could be a literal savings account, but it's what gives you pleasure. What gives me pleasure right now is my Netflix. Fear of Walking Dead. But also, do things that are healthy for you, right? Exercise, walking, yoga.
Start class. Get the hell out of whatever.
Oh, that's good release, which we're going to talk about. Yeah. Do things that give you joy, that give you pleasure. And you can do that by yourself or with the people that you love and care for. Therapy and supervision, right? Not just as students or as we're going towards our clinical license, but as part of self-care, whether that's long-term or as part of maintenance or kind of like a check-in every now and then. Give yourself that. If you have access to it, I fully encourage you to do that. And I've always been a big advocate of, if you're going to be a clinician in this field, at least around a therapy at least once. so you know what your clients are going to go through. Okay? And also, you need to be advocates too for your agency to invest in your self-care and the health of your team and of your program. Renewal and release is very physiological, very physical. Release, exercise, right? Release of that stress. Stress that builds up in our shoulders, our heads, our stomach. Mine lives in my stomach. Eating well, spirituality, taking care of your just basic medical needs. Stop rescheduling appointments because you have a caseload or you have 6 patients scheduled next week. You can reschedule, you can plan ahead, but you cannot keep postponing your regular maintenance stuff. If you're not healthy, you're not going to do them any good. Making a plan for you and be intentional about it. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be grandiose or life-changing. We can start small. I like the fact, make non-negotiable commitments. What does it look like? What do you think that means? Make non-negotiable commitments.
Well, part of my personal self-care is I get my nails done every month, my hair every 3 weeks. My eyebrows, you better believe they're done every month. My facial, honestly, but those are all behavioral things that I have control of. I get facials, that's part of my self-care. Those are non-negotiable things that I set for myself to take care of my body.
My non-negotiable is I have to have a girls' weekend trip once a year. No kiddos, no residents, kiddos.
I make sure I set my vacation, plan it, so I submit my time 3-6 months in advance.
People protect time, resources to do stuff. Fun.
At the same time, it provides an opportunity and a model for your clients what you're trying to counsel them to do. And if you set those examples, and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now, I'm going to take a couple of weeks off. You let them know, so you're modeling that. So you're not just telling them, you're living it too.
Yes.
But it has to be reasonable too. Not everybody can do 2 weeks off. It has to be reasonable for every person.
Right. You gotta make sure it's within the realm of your community. That's all I have.
Encourage each other, support each other, remind each other, make that be part of your work culture. Part of our self-care too as a team that you can do is, regular team building, employee recognition, right? Peer support. You get a work buddy. I was in the Air Force, I had a wingman, Army battle buddies, right? Make that be part of your culture. If it's not, start. Incorporate that. Well, thank you very much for your time. I hope this was productive for you.